This scene is where we meet our protagonist, Antonia, a classical singer whose life keeps falling apart. She decides to take a mini sabbatical to see if she can find some answers. And during her travels, she meets Alex, an outdoorsy hunk working as a medical responder in the Grand Canyon. They meet after Antonia gets a crippling spider bite that requires medical attention. Since Antonia is now unable to hike, Alex invites her to join him and a group of friends on a visit to Lake Powell. Expecting company, Antonia is instead left to her own devices for much of the day, bored and hungry. Antonia finally eats some of the delicious brownies that have been sitting out on the blanket that happen to be laced with pot. Alex, noticing that she is high and flushed, attends to her, walking her out into the waters of Lake Powell to cool off and sober up. "Drink," he commanded, tipping up the water canteen with his fingers, urging me to finish. "I've already drunk half the container," I whined. "All of it," he urged. "Can't have you getting heat stroke out here, especially on my watch." "Ugh," I retorted, but I complied. I had no idea whose canister it was or whose germs I was sharing. I also didn't care. Alex was finally paying attention to me, and between that and the soft buzz of the pot, I felt like I was in heaven. "Happy?" I asked, shaking the empty canteen in front of him, drops of water plopping into the lake. "Your face is still pretty flushed." "Yeah, well, I feel fine. Besides, you said you weren't a real doctor, so you don't have to worry. It's not like I can sue you," I grinned, leaning into him. He smiled in amusement, holding my shoulders to keep me steady. "I am a real doctor, just not a medical one. I happen to have a PhD in Greek and Roman literature." "What? Why would you get a degree in that?" Alex huffed, as if he asked himself the same question every day. "I was studying psychiatry and soon realized most of people's problems were because of the stories they told themselves. So I figured I'd better study the power of story, and the classics were the most effective way to do that." He paused, surrendering to the pull of philosophy and memory. Our lives are the result of the stories we tell ourselves. Are we strong? Are we weak? Are we worthy? Or do we believe that we're not? Are we stewards? Or do we hold dominion? The list is endless, but whatever it is, what we tell ourselves dictates how we operate, for good or for ill. I held his gaze and nodded, knowing he was going deep and praying I could follow. More than anything, I just liked hearing his voice. It sounded like a lion purring. But sometimes I wonder if it was all a waste of time. What was? Studying the classics. No one cares. Today it's all about engineering and coding or the latest cool tech. Value is based on how much you can produce, not what kind of person you are. And the things that can help us reclaim and evolve as a society, the arts, the classics, the humanities, are considered a luxury at best and a frivolity at worst. He scraped his fingers through his hair in frustration, causing trails of water to run down his face, forming rivers of silver in the golden rays of the setting sun. I understand. You do? Although he sounded like I didn't. Yeah, that's how I feel about opera. Yeah? You like opera? I sing it. He stared at me with his seafoam green eyes, wide with the weight of the world, feeling alone in his frustration, while forgetting that countless others cared and felt the same way. I took a breath, wanting to comfort and remind that he wasn't alone. the song had landed, done something to lighten his load. His lips curled softly while his eyes flicked to mine, a new light in them, as if seeing a kindred soul. Shall die, troubled, indeed, he sighed, his eyes landing on my lips, as if wondering what else they contained. How did you know that? Part of studying Greek and Roman literature is understanding the languages, he smiled. For pity's sake, do not say goodbye, for what would I do without you? You know, my beloved, I would die troubled. I think I fell in love with him right there. A boat hurtled past, rushing to its dock before the sun's rays were gone, its wake jostling and unmooring us, giving Alex a strong shove into me. Suddenly, his long, lean frame was pressed against mine, his arms around my waist for balance and support, and then my lips were on his, the glow of my hide quelling any inhibition, the tangy spice of the lake and the salt of our sweat seasoning the taste of him, whetting my appetite for more. He opened wider, making room to feast, his skin responding and rushing against mine, the ebbing of waves sinking the undulation of our bodies, our nerve endings, primed from hours of close but thwarted contact, now exploding. But then a swell caused me to stumble back, a gulp of air filling my lungs, the seal of our skin broken. I waited, wondering if there was more or if I'd overstepped, and then I shuddered, a puff of wind and the absence of his warmth causing a chill. We should get you back, Alex said, rubbing his hands against my arms to warn me. I looked at him, asking if we were okay, if that was okay, too afraid to speak. Instead, Alex pulled me close and pressed a kiss to my forehead, holding me tight against him, his scent like old-growth forest after a rain, spicy, fresh, and rich. Then he let go, took my hand, and led me back to shore.